Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. Well, this story is a bit weird. This story is a bit odd because it's kind of the opposite foot of everything, but I kind of want to talk about this a little bit because um yeah, it's not what we say. So apparently a woman was threatened by a man who thought she was trans because uh this person was unusually tall. Now, I want to say that uh that we're on the right side here, but I don't think necessarily we are. But there's a lot of things that we have to go over. So without further ado, my friends, let's get to the end of this. It says Walmart fires 6'4" cisgender woman threatened by man who thought she was trans. It says a cisgender woman Walmart employee who says she was. I'm going to just say I'm not going to say cisgender here because that's just an insult. I'm going to say biological woman. Walmart fires biological woman threatened by man who thought she was trans. And he goes on to say here, a biological woman, Walmart employee who says she was verbally assaulted in the female restroom by a man who took her for a transgender woman was fired because she reported the incident to the wrong supervisor and created a security risk. Okay. So there's a few things here, right? Now, I understand that, probably reporting it to the wrong supervisor is not the wisest thing to do. But again, heat of the moment, it's like you could easily just say, okay, just go to the supervisor and what have you. Okay, that's what it is. It says Danny Davis, who is queer, which I don't care whether she's a lesbian or not. I don't care. Took to the social media on March 24th and wrote a post about what she said happened while she was at work. The incident occurred on March 14th at the Walmart in Lake City, Florida. She noted she was nearly a seven-year employee of Walmart and holds several other part-time jobs, including the joy and privilege of tutoring special needs children as requested, describing herself as a hard worker who has never been in trouble. She also describes herself as a really tall at just shy of 6'4", adding that every inch is natural to me, or natural me. Well, yeah, that's very unnatural tall for a woman. Unless you're in the WNBA, and even then, that's extremely tall. You should probably apply for the WNBA. You probably crush it. It says around 8 p.m. on March 14th, she wrote that she was alone in the stall in the women's restroom when she heard a man yelling. The voice was louder, much louder than someone simply yelling from the door. This man was fully in the restroom yelling something about transgender women, Davis wrote. Davis said the man yelled he was going to beat them and he was going to protect his wife and girlfriend from them, while his wife or girlfriend was pleading with him to stop and leave before he got into trouble. Davis wrote she was scared and froze, and not knowing if the man was going to physically attack her. I was the only one in there, so it seemed pretty clear that he saw me enter the restroom, and he assumed that I am trans because of my height. Davis recalled it was terrifying, and I wish no one should have ever had experience like that. The man eventually left, and Davis was able to leave the restroom and return to her workstation. Okay, let's talk about this a little bit, right? So I'm not going to start advocating for people to start beating trans individuals. I think that's insane. I think that's crazy. However, I can understand from this guy's point of view, a naturally untall woman that is in there was going into the restroom, and his wife was also probably going to go into the restroom as well. Now, I'm taking this guy from this point of view, all right? And he was going to go and protect his so-called wife or his wife or girlfriend or what have you, and from being assaulted or whatever from this transgender individual that he thought that was transgender, right? Now, I could understand this in a little bit of sense, right? Where you are going into a restroom and you're very, very, very tall, at least for a woman, all right? And then the transgender thing where you go in and it's like, no, you need to get out of here because you're in danger of my wife or what have you. The guy shouldn't have gone in there and started threatening or whatever. I'm not saying he should have done that because that's insanity. We don't do that here. But I can understand on why he would be hostile towards these people. It is very disturbing. All right. But this is kind of the culture that the trans people kind of created, because the trans people have created a culture to where they allow biological men to enter a woman's bathroom and then have have a looky or whatever, what have you, right? And most people do not like this. Now, I'm not saying that, as again, I'm not saying the guy should have gone in here and gone and say like he should have assaulted or tried to assault or wanted to assault somebody. All right, that's insane. Says it goes on to here. My immediate supervisor came by and noticed I was visibly shaken and emotional. After taking a few months to calm myself down, I told her what happened. I didn't go home since it wasn't long until my shift was done. 10 p.m. Davis wrote. Less than a week later, I was fired. The reason given for her termination was that she did not she did not report the incident to a salaried management employee and therefore created a security risk. Now, this just seems like a mistake, right? This just seems like a mistake. So the mistake. Oh God, get rid of this. What is this? Why is this here? Get rid of this. So, like I said, this just seems like a mistake. All right. She's obviously frightened. She's also kind of terrified. All right. I think this is normal in this kind of in this type of regard, and in this type of circumstance. So she wouldn't have reported it and reported to the wrong person. Okay. She's been there for 7 years. Obviously, she made a slight error. Probably talked to her, warn her, okay, don't do this again. What have you, or probably go tell the supervisor, okay, oh, you can't talk to me. Go to here and go report it to this person, and you're fine, right? Maybe Walmart should have done that. Warning should be done. Now, it's not like this was a severe problem. It's not like this person was threatened or beaten or what have you. There was a threat that happened, so possibly you needed to go report to the correct people. All right, and or what have you. That's the case that we have here, and I don't also tell people, right? Because again, this is just something that it just seems to be a harmless mistake, and she shouldn't be fired over it. That it shouldn't be fired at all. Uh, but it says, it goes on to say here, it took it to mean that I was a security risk because someone had mistaken me for trans. David she said she was devastated because of the anti-LGBTQ plus climate in Florida. She had been planning on leaving the state, but now she doesn't know after losing the job. Uh, Again, she appealed the termination through Walmart's internal review process, but she was denied. She filed for unemployment insurance, but she also took her story to Facebook, where it soon went viral. Walmart appeared to acknowledge the error in a statement released to the media. We want our associates to feel safe and supported in their workplace, and we won't tolerate bullying or threats of violence against our associates or customers. Walmart spokesperson Joe Pennington said in a statement, "We reviewed the situation and we will be addressing it internally. We've also made attempts to invite Ms. Davis to return to work with back pay." Davis received a similar email from Walmart offering reinstatement with back pay, but she told the suppose she is unsure she will be set the offer. "I think it would just be a hostile environment to return to," she said. Okay. All right. This is the whole story. So, again, you offer your job back, everything should be fine and dandy. And the LGBTQ plus climate in Florida. Let me put it this way. I think it's more of a anti-trans climate, right? And just because you are a lesbian, because that's what you are, you say you're queer, so I'm going to assume that you are obviously lesbian. Nobody is hating against actual lesbians. Let's just put it a $1.50, all right? Nobody is hating against the actual lesbians because they're not really the problem. Gay men are not necessarily the problem either. It's more of the trans people entering people's bathrooms and their kids' schools or what have you, and that's what's been going on. And you're not going to be necessarily assaulted for this, all right? I hate to say this, but you're not. In our most normal scenario. Now, this is a very, very rare scenario, all right? And this guy obviously thought that you were trans. And again, we're seeing time and time again where trans people have, when biological men have entered women's bathrooms. You don't see this the other way. You don't see the female versions of like the female to male versions entering a male's bathroom. All right, you don't see this. This is not a common thing. It is not what's ongoing. So that's it. So the fact of the matter is that we are in a situation here where Democrats have created this weird law, these weird systems, where you have made it to where trans people have to be allowed in these bathrooms. You can't do this or you can't do that, and you can't discriminate, whatever this or what have you. And this is what happens. Now, am I saying that trans people should not be able to work? Am I saying that trans people should be excluded from social status? No. I'm saying that we can just not be allowing trans people into the opposite bathroom, because it's not only just a danger to the people that are in these bathrooms, but it's also a danger to the trans person itself. Because if a guy, as in this scenario, sees a woman that enters the bathroom, or a trans individual, and they go into the bathroom, well, the wife is going to feel threatened or scared, or a woman, or what have you, and the husband's going to get involved, and more violence is going to ensue. It's a problem, right? And these are things that we have to make a standard. A male is a male, a woman is a woman, and we assign these bathrooms to these genders, to these sexes, whichever one you want to use it, because of the mere fact that is how society has ran for millennia now, since the dawn of mankind. And for whatever reason, in the past recent half a decade, or or give or take a decade, we have switched this to something different, and that's just insanity. And it is what it is. It is what it is. Like, I want to tell certain people with this, right? Would you allow a biological man in the same bathroom with your wife? And you're gonna get a resounding no. Straight up. And the trans aspect does not change this fact. This woman is even saying it sounded like a man. So therefore, when it sounded like a man, you're also using normal gender cues that would be like, okay, a man sounds like this, a woman sounds like this, right? So when you put in a transgender person and they still sound like a man, how do you combat this exactly? Right? Because how many transgender guys or transgender females, what have you, how many of them sound like an actual female? Right? How many of them sound like an actual female? Almost none of them. I've seen some transgender people here in the state that I am in, right? And the people that I've seen did not look feminine at all, did not look like a female, and they sure as hell did not sound like a female. So if this person's in a female bathroom and spoke, this woman here is going to be just as freaked out as some other man comes in. So it doesn't change anything. It just means that you understand the cues and who sounds like what, because this is what a man and this is what a female sounds like. So at the end of the day, you're already going against the transgender mantra in general because of this. And you'll get blasted for saying otherwise. That's just the way it is. All right, guys, that's it for the video. Like you guys share. As always, take care, my friends.